She's a straight shooter, if you know what I mean. Dishing out the truth about the royal scene, with a fist of fire and a voice so keen. Hitting hard with those altar bridge vibes, no sugarcoating the false alibis. Tearing down the lies she despised. Yorkshire lass with fire in her eyes. Stef don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines. See a fake, she's a beacon bright, unraveling the drama without a fright. Armored with honesty, ready to fight. Injustice quivers at her sight. Unbreakable will won't be confined. Mind of steel and heart redefined. Rhetoric sharp, leaving dust behind. In Stef's world, truth is intertwined. Stef don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines. Will won't be confined. Mind of steel and heart redefined. Rhetoric sharp, leaving dust behind. In Stef's world, truth is intertwined. Stef don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines.
Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef, the alternate, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Daily Nerd Live Sunday edition for the 19th of January 2025. Let me give you a little bit of a rundown of what's going to come up in today's show. So first and foremost, oh my goodness, that Vanity Fair article. Has that caused so much drama, right? Now, the Vanity Fair article indicates that Megxie was shopping around, trying to get publishers to bite for her divorce book, which they kind of allude to this notion that wasn't actually written, that she was just shopping the idea of this divorce book for one of the publishers to essentially bite, so then she'd write it, this, that, and the other. Well, I've done a little bit of research. I might have actually found proof that Meghan Markle has already written her Prince Harry divorce book. I'm going to show you the information I found, and you guys can decide for yourselves, but it's looking sus as hell, that is for certain. And then next up after that, have I also then found proof that Meghan Markle has been dumped by her agency, William Morris Endeavour, otherwise known as WME, after the scathing Vanity Fair expose? Again, I've done a little bit of research into this, and it's not looking good, that is for certain. Then after that, we discuss Meghan Markle's network of abuse victims. Are they ready now to go public after the Vanity Fair expose? Well, guess what? The victims have responded to this Vanity Fair expose, and hold on to your butts, because I think more's going to be coming out in the next few days. That is for damn certain. And then finally, in light of this Vanity Fair expose that has been released, did Meghan Markle actually delay the show because she couldn't stop this damning Vanity Fair expose from coming out? Did she actually use the LA wildfire tragedies as an excuse? Hold on to your butts on that one, guys, because again, I've done some research and you guys can decide on that one. But again, it's looking dodgy as hell. So that is what's coming up for today's Daily Nerd Live for Sunday, the 19th of January, 2025. Thank you so much to everyone that has tuned in, whether you're watching live or on the replay. I really do appreciate your faces. Please do make sure on your way out that you do subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe for more of this content, because of course there's going to be more. Like, share, and on the replay, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's to any of the stories that I discuss in today's live show. With that being said, just a couple of thank yous before we start today's show with the first story. Firstly, King Bob. I salute you, mate. Gifting one leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey up to our newest leader, courtesy of King Bob. Really, really appreciate your face there. Thank you so much. We also have the Sarge herself, hey up Sarge. Sergeant George Harrison saying, hey up Stef. Hey up, Sarge. Pups are doing great. Yes, thank you so much for sending me the updates earlier on this week. For those that don't know, I've been suffering from a pancreas attack. It's been absolutely awful. Also caught a bug at the same time over the last 24 hours. So that was Gucci, right, guys? So, yeah, apologies that there was no content whatsoever this week on my second channel, Political Nerds, but that's coming back next week, and I got some videos to share with you, that is for damn certain. And we also have the Sarge. Yes, thank you so much for another $2 sugar bucks, and my favourite, the Ginger Doggy Fighting Arts moment. For those that don't know, this is a ginger doggy. There are tails coming from the doggy. When you lift the tail from the doggy, what's directly underneath? The butthole. Therefore, this is a ginger doggy fighting arts moment. You'll never be able to ever unsee it ever again. You're very welcome. So thank you so much to the Sarge for finding my favourite super chat sticker of all time. I also want to say thank you as well to Aussie Ann 2025 for gifting another leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey up to our newest leaders, courtesy of King Bob and Aussie Ann 2025. And that only means one thing, guys. Today's gifting wars for this stream have officially begun. So thank you so much to Aussie Ann 2025 and also King Bob for kicking off today's gifting wars. And rounding it off before we start the first topic of today's live stream, we've got Stephen Magnus in the chat. Hey up SM, how's it going? Gifting a whopping 5 leaderships to some of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey up to our newest leaders, courtesy of Stephen Magnus. And that takes us to whopping 7 new leaders for today's stream. We're just 3 more away from double figures and going to 10 new leaders for today's stream. So who else is going to pick up that sword and shield and be like, this ain't how you do a gifting war. This is how you do a gifting war, guys. We may soon find out. I also have been listening to all of your feedback in terms of the sound issue. You're mentioning that I'm cutting out here and there. I'm hearing that myself, to be fair. So I've changed some settings on my soundboard, and I've also essentially brought this mic closer to my gob. So let me know in the comments down below if you're watching on the replay or on the live stream. How's my audio sounding? Is it better? Is it worse? Let me know. With that being said, let's kick in to the first topic, the main topic for today's live stream. Have I found proof that Megxie has already written her Prince Harry divorce book that was actually mentioned in the Vanity Fair exposé that has totally just demolished Team Sussex at this point? Like, they're beyond saving at this point. Well, I did a little bit of research. Megxie may have already written that divorce book that the Vanity Fair exposé was referencing. And let me explain it, okay? So for those that don't know, for those that have been living under a stone, a rock, on freaking Mars, right? And you haven't heard about this Vanity Fair expose. Just a little bit of a recap. So from this Vanity Fair expose, it did mention that Megxie had quietly shopped a book about life post-divorce from Prince Hazard. The source reportedly clarified that the book was meant to be about the aftermath of a split from Hazard and not Megxie's first husband, Trevor Engelson, who she divorced back in 2014. Now, it also says it was also not pitched as a book about the general idea of the dissolution of marriages. But people who work for Megxie had a conversation with an unnamed publishing house to gauge interest in the idea for the book. A person with knowledge of the situation told Vanity Fair the timeline of this alleged discussion was not discussed. The insider also noted that the book meeting did not signify that the Megxie and Hazard were headed for a divorce, but it was meant to see if the publisher was theoretically interested should the divorce actually happen. A second source says, look, if that's true to any degree, she would have been approached and not vice versa. According to Vanity Fair, the publisher never made an offer and no manuscript was produced. Because there was no divorce to write about. Okay. So the Vanity Fair article is literally saying here that either way, the sources are alleging that Megxie, whether she went to them or they went to her, was having discussions with a publisher about a potential Prince Hazard divorce book situation, right? And they were pains to say that no manuscript was ever produced. Nothing at all. It was just Megxie turning around and saying, I've got an idea for a book. What do you think? Right? However, I've looked into this and I might have already found proof, potentially, that she's already written a Prince Harry divorce book. That if she had these meetings with the publishers, she would have had to have something to show them in the first place. Something written down, a couple of pages, a couple of, what do you call it? Chapters, this, that, and the other, right? Apologies, just had a brain fart there, right? And so let me show you, okay, how do you get published according to Penguin Random House, who, you know, just luck would have it, Hazard is signed up for, right? So how do you get published? So firstly, you need to have an agent, right? So most major publishers don't accept manuscripts directly from writers, which means that to get your book published, you'll often need to get a literary agent as a key early step. And so essentially, what this means is if Megxie was serious, first and foremost, about shopping a Prince Harry divorce book to publishers, right? She would have to make that first serious step of actually getting a literary agent on board, okay? Which is a major first step. And then the Penguin Random House turns around and says that before you approach an agent, you need to make sure that you've got a manuscript and that you've edited it and drafted it at a stage where you feel you can't make any more changes yourself to make it better. So to have a literary agent, you firstly have to have an example of your work on show that you want to shop around for a publisher to hopefully take on board, right? Are you seeing where I'm coming from here? But let's go one step further. Because you might be thinking, well, maybe that's fiction, right? Here we'd be talking about non-fiction. Well, according to Megxie anyway, it's pretty much all fiction when it comes to Megxie. But you see where I'm coming from. So non-fiction, when you look at the other side, is a bit different. An agent would expect to see a proposal, including a chapter-by-chapter outline, the planned content, together with a few chapters of writing. So in order to get a meeting with a publisher in the first place, you have to have a literary agent. In order to have a literary agent, especially if it's a non-fiction book, which is what Megxie would be shopping this Prince Has a Divorce book as being, right? The truth, Allah, whatever. The literary agent would expect her to have at least a couple of pages, a couple of chapters, a chapter by chapter outline of the book. Something actually written down in stone that the agent can literally see and be like, yes, this is something tangible. I can read it. And now let's shop this around to different publishers to see who'll bite first. In other words, for her to get a meeting with a publisher, she would have to have a literary agent. Literally, from what Penguin Random House are saying themselves, they're saying to have a literary agent, you have to have an example of the work that you want to shop around in the first place. A proposal, chapter by chapter outline, planned content, a few chapters of the book itself. So, when you think about it this way, right? For Vanity Fair, for the sources to turn around and say, yeah, she shopped this idea around, okay, for a Prince Harry post-divorce book. And she went to the publisher, but there was no manuscript, no nothing. She just pitched them the idea from a gob and that was it. To me, makes no sense. Because when you look at what Penguin Random House is saying here, in order to have that meeting, you would have to have a copy, an example of what you're writing in the first place to give them a flavour of what you're shopping to them. So, my question is this to all you guys. Knowing the process, right, of how you, essentially, generally speaking, try and shop a book around, right, to different publishers. Knowing how you need to get a literary agent in the first place. Knowing that the main thing that you need is a draft copy of a couple of chapters, a couple of pages, this, that, and the other of what you're trying to sell to a publisher. Knowing that's generally the process to A, get a literary agent, and B, get the foot in the door to a potential publisher. Do you really believe now that no manuscript was ever produced because there was no divorce to write about? Dude, the divorce doesn't even have to happen at this point. In my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, Megxie could just easily go on a freaking laptop and just start writing. Because either way, when this book comes out, and best believe when they do divorce, oh my goodness, Megxie's divorce book, that's happening, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. When this book comes out, how much do you think is going to be the truth? And how much do you think it's going to be BS? Doesn't need to be the truth when it comes to Megxie, as long as she can say it's her truth, right? It does mean one thing, though, that's quite interesting, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. It means that if she is, allegedly, right, shopping around this Prince Harry post-divorce book situation, yeah? Then that means, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, that when she does get divorced from Prince Harry, it looks like she is going to take the route of Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York. Let me explain. So, when Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, divorced from Prince Andrew, she allegedly got a payout of approximately, I want to say, £2 million. Why such a low amount, seeing that this is from the royal family? It's because she didn't sign an NDA, which meant that she could capitalise off of her experience being in the royal family back in the 90s through the media, which she did, right? She released her own memoirs, did books, commercial deals, all that lot, right? On the other side of the coin, you've got Princess Diana and the then Prince Charles. When they got divorced, Princess Diana reportedly got over £20 million, if memory serves me right. But she got the higher payout because she signed an NDA, which prohibited her from talking about the royal family for commercial gains or whatever whatsoever in public, right? So if Megxie is shopping around this alleged Prince Hazard post-divorce book, it means that when Hazard and Megxie do get divorced, and I do think it's only a matter of time, sounds like she is going to go the route of Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, which is she won't sign the NDA because she'll take her chances and try and sell herself commercially in terms of her experience in the royal family, blah, 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 for a lesser payout from the royal family. See where I'm coming from? This little tidbit has given so much insight. It is unreal. If she's shopping around a post-divorce book situation from Prince Hazard, to get a literary agent and to get your foot through the door of a publisher, even Penguin Random House are saying, as I've just shown you, she has to have some pages to show them, a couple of chapters, a chapter-by-chapter synopsis, a little bit of an overview of what it's all about, the whole lot, right? So to me, in my bitty conspiracy theory, whatever, that's proof that Megxie has already written a Prince Hazard divorce book. Furthermore, if she is shopping a Prince Hazard divorce book, that means to me one thing. When they do get divorced, she ain't signing that NDA. She's going to go full nuclear in the media against Hazard and the royal family. It'll mean she'll get a lesser payout from the royal family, but she's going to take her chances to see if she can make the bigger bucks on her own, trashing them on her own. How far do you think that's going to take her? With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, of course, there's going to be more, you do not want to miss my next video, then make sure you subscribe to join our alternate tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that go play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's if you're watching on the replay. For those currently watching live, please stay where you are, because next up, oh my goodness, even more proof. I dug in and did a little bit more research, and I'm there thinking, how did this Vanity Fair expose even get released in the first place? How did Ari Emanuel from WME not stop this in the first place, right? WME being Megxie's alleged agency. But to me, I think there's now proof that Megxie has been dumped by WME. Totally and utterly. I've done a lot of research. I'm going to give you those details in a moment, so please stay exactly where you are. I do have a couple of thank yous to go through. Before we get on to that next segment for today's live stream. Firstly, Stephen Magnus, I salute you, mate. Thank you so much for the £5 sugar bucks. Ruining a sugar's day by sending a shiz ton of sugar bucks my way. Saying Meghan has her own companies, Orinoco Publishing LLC and Pekka Publishing LLC, which could be the way to communicate with Penguin Random House. True, however, she would still have to have some kind of agent to speak on her behalf who knows the literary world inside and out and knows the language to get through those doors to the publishers, if that makes sense. Plus, as well, all these companies that she owns, a penny conspiracy theory, whatever, is one major tax dodge. So there's that situation as well, isn't there, Stephen? Jackie Stott in the house. Hey up, Jackie, how's it going? Jumping into today's gifting wars, gifting a whopping 5 new leaders. So, oh my goodness, everyone say hey up to our newest leaders, courtesy of Jackie Stott. 5 new leaderships. Oh my goodness, Jackie, that's extremely generous of you. Thank you so much. Wow, that takes us to a whopping 12 new leaders for today's stream. Guys, we're just 3 more away from another 15 new leaders for today's stream. So who else is going to pick up that sword and shield and be like, I know how to do a gifting war too? Guys, we may soon find out. Let me just double check something. Yeah, that's all looking fine. Apologies. It's a thing, guys. I'm doing all of this on my own. I've got a zillion screens up, so thank you so much for bearing with me there. And oh my goodness, El Chopper saying, I got my Stef the Alternate coffee cup and I love it. Steph, thanks. Oh, well, thank you so much. If anyone wants to get any of my merch, I mean, it's there. You don't have to, but stefthealternate.com is my merch store. You can get mugs, you can get t-shirts, you can get hats. There's a few things there. So if you guys want to go nuts, Go nuts there. But El Choppers, thank you so much for that. In the meantime, guys, let's kick off with the second story for today's live stream. Proof that Meghan Markle has been dumped by WME after the scathing Vanity Fair expose. You won't believe what I found. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef the Alternate, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because I may have actually found proof that Megxie has been dumped by WME, her agency, William Morris Endeavour, after a scathing Vanity Fair expose that was just released a couple of days ago. And this is the Vanity Fair expose in question. We've all read the details by now, right, guys? The thing is, though, it got me thinking, how did this actually get out in the first place? In other words, how did her agency, William Morris Endeavour, not stop this from happening? Because the thing is, Vanity Fair has been seen in the past as a Sussex-friendly media outlet. I mean, this was just from last year, where they were reporting on Megxie joining local tweens for some crafting with support from Oprah and Melinda French Gates Foundation for this Girls Inc. kind of situation, blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Vanity Fair used to be pro-Sussex. Seems like that's not the case anymore, right, guys? And so how did WME not stop this from happening? Not stop this Vanity Fair expose from ever seeing the light of day? And I ask this because, as we've all found out, I'm going to have to say opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever on this one, Harry Emanuel, who is essentially co-CEO of WME, is said to be one of the most powerful players in Hollywood. Said to be able to open up any doors, stop stories from getting out. So I do wonder why WME, Megxie's agency, wasn't able to stop this Vanity Fair article from getting out. Could it be that they tried but failed? I mean, that's one option, right? Or could it be that they've dropped Megxie? Now, let me show you what I found out here because it's really interesting. When I look at her agencies, right, WME Instagram, you'd think that before the delay that was announced, that they would have promoted Megxie's new show, right? So at the beginning of January, at the beginning of this month, it was announced that Megxie's new show, With Love, Meghan, was originally going to air on the 15th of January. So you would have thought on WME's Instagram, before the delay was announced, they would have promoted at the time Megxie's new show. Now, I say this because they promoted Khloe Kardashian's new show a week ago, right? Her new podcast. First episode was out on January the 8th, blah, 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 right? Thing is, though, interestingly, there's nothing about Megxie in their most recent posts at all. Nothing about her series, nothing about the Polo series, nothing about her events that she's gone to, nothing about the awards that she's won over the last year or so. Oh, nothing. Because in fact, the last time they actually mentioned Megxie is when they signed her up nearly a couple of years ago now. Now, let's be very clear on this, guys, because I've looked at it from all angles here. She is still on the Harry Walker Agency website as a client, as a speaker, right? And upon further investigation, they are an affiliate company of WME. They are a parent company of that agency. However, from what we know publicly, no one has hired Megxie as a speaker for a while. And as I've just shown you from WME's Instagram, they haven't promoted her at all. They've promoted their other clients when they've won awards, this, that, and the other. But when Megxie's won an award, crickets. And when Megsy at the beginning of this month announced that With Love Meghan was going to be released on the 15th of January, again, crickets. They promoted Khloe Kardashian's new podcast show. They didn't promote Megsy's new show. And so when you have this lack of promotion from WME on their Instagram page, and you think to yourself, well, hang on a minute, Ari Emanuel said to be one of the most powerful players in Hollywood, able to open any doors and stop any stories from getting out. I wonder why WME wasn't able to stop this Vanity Fair article from actually getting out. Could it be that they tried and failed? Or, based on the information I've just shown you guys, could it be that they've actually dropped Megsy? So they knew that this Vanity Fair expose was going to come out, but they didn't give a shiz because she's not their client anymore. What do you guys think? With that being said, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you yet. We're going to get on to the next story in a moment. But for those watching on the replay, if you appreciated this story and you want more, and believe me, of course, there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that gold play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers, and until the next time, you guys, laters. Okay, and that was the second story for today's live stream for the Daily Nerd, Sunday the 19th of January 2025. Next up, guys, do not go anywhere, because Meghan Markle's network of victims have responded to the Vanity Fair expose, and you gotta hear what they've got to say. That is for certain. Megsy is well and truly cooked at this stage. With that being said, guys, can you just let me know, for those that have been here for a little while now, how has my audio been during this live stream? Has it been better? I have been seriously, feverishly working in the background to try and overcome these audio issues, because I started hearing it myself. Like, I'd be cut out a little bit and it's like, oh, no. I like to be heard, okay? So can you guys just let me know in the live chat how it's been? Has there been any cut out whatsoever? Any issues? Please let me know. Mic drop Lisa, here we go. Audio is much better. Okay. Sounds fine to me. Audio's good. Sounds good to me. All right. That'll do then. That'll do. Little Devil, though. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership for the last 25 months. That's awesome. Saying, good to see you, Stef. Good to see you too, Little Devil. Where have you been all my life? How have you been? Let me know. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Gwendolyn's saying that there's no issues, that it's perfect. Oh, my goodness. Head Mod, Project Metal Music saying audio is good. Audio sounds fine. All right. Yeah, fingers crossed. All right. I might have cracked it. Okay. So thanks everyone for the feedback. Hearing you loud and clear. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for your feedback. I do read some of your normal comments underneath my videos. And the one that kept coming up time and time again was this audio issue. And so, yeah, please, continue to send me any constructive criticism that you guys may have that can, improve this channel, not only for me, but for you guys as well, right? So, yeah, continue to send me that constructive criticism and feedback. Thank you very nicely. With that being said, let's crack on with the third story for today's live stream, because Meghan Markle's network of victims have responded to the Vanity Fair expose. Meghan Markle is well and truly cooked. up, everyone? It's me, Stef, the alternate, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught my eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because Meghan Markle's network of victims have responded to the Vanity Fair expose, and Megxie is well and truly cooked. Like, she is done at this point. I cannot see how she can ever come back from this. In all honesty, I can't see how her series with Love Meghan is actually going to air after this. I just really can't. And so let's jump into it, shall we? Because a former staffer is saying that Meghan Markle was undermining, labelled her as a Mean Girls teenager, said that they were thrown to the wolves. So in the Vanity Fair expose, the source alleged the experience was really awful, very painful, because she's constantly playing checkers. I'm not even going to say chess, but she's just very aware of where everybody is on her board. Now, firstly, that's a dig, okay? Because she's like, the source is like, yeah, she's constantly playing checkers. I'm not going to say chess because, you know, she doesn't have the IQ and the brain capacity to play chess. But she could be a basic bitch and she could play checkers instead. I love it. I love the shade there. But the source then says, and when you're not in, you are to be thrown to the wolves at any given moment, which amounted to undermining. Now, the Vanity Fair expose said a whole lot of other things in terms of Megxie and her treatment to other people. However, oh my goodness, they've responded. One moment, I think I need to sneeze. Yeah. Maybe. I'm filming this live, guys. It just is what it is. Anywho, that was a false sneeze. There we go. Let's carry on then, because Megxie's network of victims have actually responded now to the Vanity Fair expose as per the Daily Beast. And they're turning around and saying that they're now feeling very vindicated by the report of a, quote, demon ways. And so a former employee spoke to the Daily Beast in September and described her as demon in high heels. But responding to the Vanity Fair report, one former employee now has told the Daily Beast, quote, I'm surprised that people spoke out, but I'm not surprised by the content of their allegations. It seems like nothing has changed. There is not really much more to say. And this is the thing, when you do read through the Vanity Fair expose, no, it doesn't really seem like anything has really changed in terms of how Megxie allegedly treats other people. It's kind of more of the same. However, it's proven in terms of, let's say, what people are saying. It's proven a pattern, potentially, a potential pattern. And it's just giving more credence to the notion that what these victims are saying are actually true, right? Because they can't all be wrong, right, guys? Think about it. And so, yeah, it's pretty much more of the same, but, you know, the more that comes out, the more believable, you know, the victims are, because, again, it's proving a pattern of nastiness from Megxie. Now, moving on from that, another source has added, I feel desperately sorry for the people affected because I've been there, but I also feel vindicated. The source said that people claiming Megxie is the world's greatest boss should be ashamed of themselves. Adding, it's obviously very tempting to work for her when you're being wooed and love-bombed, but people should be in no doubt she is a nightmare. I would think the atmosphere will be particularly hellish now everything is going to shiz. She doesn't do disappointment well. And so, in response to all the claims, former Curtia told the Daily Beast back in September, there definitely were bad, very bad, even psycho moments. I witnessed people being chewed up in person and over the phone and made to feel like shiz. And so, yeah, this is the thing, right? Megxie's network of, we'll say, alleged victims here have responded to the Vanity Fair expose. They feel vindicated. They're saying, look, it's more of the same. You know, we can see ourselves in these new victims because we've been there, we've been through it. What they're saying is ringing true to us because we experienced the same from Megxie, right? But yeah, they feel vindicated. And it looks like for Megxie, the nightmare is just going to get worse. This is not going to go away anytime soon now that the US media, it looks like, are contacting the UK alleged, I'm going to have to say it, bullied staff. Here we've got at Tribes Britannia, Prince and Princess of Wales, clipping this Tom Bower quote from an article saying Tom Bower noted, worse for Meghan is the obvious breach of the draconian non-disclosure agreements which all the staff have been forced to sign. Bower added, clearly their huge anger overcame any fear that she would seek legal retribution. It's a bad weekend. Now, we do know... well, let's say I know. I don't know if you guys know. I don't want to assume that. I know from speaking to many of my friends who are lawyers that, yes, you can sign an NDA all day long, but an NDA can be broken if you're breaking it because what they did was illegal. So, in other words, if in terms of these alleged victims coming out now speaking against Megxi and talking about her alleged bullying ways, this, that, and the other, if they can prove that her alleged bullying ways were illegal, then them breaking the NDA is nothing. They're not going to get any legal retribution from Megxi on that because they can prove that by what they're saying, which is breaking the NDA, what they're saying proves that Megxi performed illegal acts. In this case, alleged bullying, this, that, and the other. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But overall, guys, yeah. Megxi needs to buckle up because this nightmare is not going to end anytime soon. Megxi's network of alleged victims have responded to the Vanity Fair expose. They feel vindicated. And this nightmare is not going to go away anytime soon because, as Tom Bower has noted, yeah, it looks like no one's scared of the NDA anymore. And it looks like, yep, there's going to be more victims that are going to go public and absolutely trash Megxi to filth. With that being said, those watching live at the moment, stay exactly where you are. I've got the final story for you for today's live stream. For those watching on the replay, though, thank you so much for tuning in. If you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, of course, there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our alternate tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that go play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, and that was the third story for today's Daily Nerd Live Sunday edition. Coming up for the final story for today's live stream. Did Meghan Markle actually delay the new show because she knew about the damning Vanity Fair expose? In other words, did Meghan Markle delay this new show with Love Meghan because she couldn't stop that damning Vanity Fair expose from being released, and instead tried to make it out to be a sin and be like, oh, I'm going to delay it because, you know, out of respect for those affected by the LA wildfires, this, that, and the other. Guys, I've looked into the timing of all of this. I've got the information gathered. You guys can decide, but I tell you something. The whole timing of this all now stinks to high hell. So I'll be getting into that in a moment. But first and foremost, Sarai, oh my goodness, thank you so much for rejoining as a leader. Welcome back to leadership, Sarai. Hope you're doing very, very well when I can get my teeth back in. Thank you so much. Everyone say, hey, up to our newest leader, Sarai. And hearts in the chat for Sarai, because they went one step further and actually hit that join button themselves. We're now on to a whopping 13 new leaders for today's stream. We're just 2 more away from 15 new leaders for today's stream. So who else is going to pick up that sword and shield and be like, let me jump into today's gifting wars and show them how it's done? Guys, we may soon find out. In the meantime, let's get on to the fourth and final topic for today's live stream, which is, yes, Did Meghan Markle delay the new show because she couldn't stop that Vanity Fair exposé from being released? The timing is fishy as hell, guys. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef the Alternate, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because I'm asking a question, did Meghan Markle actually delay her new show with Love Meghan because she couldn't actually stop that damning Vanity Fair expose from being released? Because let's put it this way, right? Think about an alternate universe where she did release that show, right? And in this alternate universe, there were no LA wildfires and all was well on planet Earth, right? Or as well as can be. And then this Vanity Fair expose then gets released. Think about it. That would have destroyed Meg's show because no one will be talking about Meg's show anymore. It'd be completely lost in the ether, completely lost in the newsfeed, because the newsfeed would be all about this damning Vanity Fair expose, which is literally what we're seeing right now. Anything now to do with Megxie at the moment, when you Google her, it's all about this Vanity Fair expose. And so I'm thinking, right, let me look at the timing of this all, because this Vanity Fair expose, this was released a couple of days ago on the 17th of January. All right. Now, if we look at the beginning of this month, okay, Megxie announced her new show on the 2nd of January, saying that it was going to be released on the 15th of January. So when you look at the time frame so far, okay, beginning of January, she announces that With Love Meghan is going to be released on the 15th of January. Now, in this alternate universe where everything's fine, she doesn't delay anything, the wildfires never took place, this, that, and the other, the series gets released on the 15th of January. The Vanity Fair article then gets released a couple of days later on the 17th of January. What do you think people are going to be talking about when it comes to Megxie in that alternate universe? Is it going to be all about that series? Or is it going to be all about that damning and shocking Vanity Fair expose? I know which one it'd be. What do you think? And this is the thing, right? I'm not the only one that's thinking along these same lines here, okay? So here, there's this Daily Mail article saying, look, will shock revelations end Hazard and Megxie's American dream? And I'm asking a similar question here in this alternate universe. If this series was released on the 15th of January as originally planned, could the shock revelations that were revealed in this Vanity Fair expose, could that have ended Megxie's dream of this series ever having a chance of being successful in the first place? And so we've got some experts here from the Daily Mail. We've got some experts here that the Daily Mail spoke to, right? First one being, of course, Tom Bower, saying, look, he's describing the revelations as devastating for Megxie, especially given her recent attempts to reshape her public persona as a warm, loving mother and wife. Saying, having strongly denied the accusations that she bullied her staff in Kensington Palace, the revival of the image of the difficult Duchess who torments her staff into seeking therapy to alleviate the misery of working for Meghan is a disaster just on the eve of the launch of Netflix With Love Meghan. Yeah. Having invested so much to rebrand herself as a loving, caring Californian mother and wife, the Vanity Fair disclosures have poisoned the smiling image of the welcoming homemaker. Worse for Meghan is the obvious breach of the draconian non-disclosure agreements, which all her staff have been forced to sign. Clearly, the huge anger overcame any fear that she would seek legal retribution. It's a bad weekend. Richard Fitzwilliam has warned the couple's reputation in the US is now severely damaged, saying Harry is portrayed as lost, out of his depth and naive. Neither, according to the article, appear to understand what a successful career in showbiz actually involves. saying that, the couple's attempt to project a caring philanthropic image through efforts like helping victims of California wildfires are unlikely to gain traction in light of the ongoing allegations. He says the Sussexes are attempting to project a caring image by helping some of those affected by the cataclysmic wildfires currently ravaging California. They won't get far after publicity is given to this. Her With Love Meghan cookery series is, judging from the trailer, as saccharine and silly. This was postponed and is now scheduled for release on the 4th of March. But unenthusiastic online reaction might make the streaming giant think twice and dump it, and when their contract runs out later in the year, preserve very little of it, if any. The Sussexes have made so many accusations against the royal family. They, especially Meghan, now have a lot to answer. Nobody likes bullies, especially entitled bullies. It speaks volumes that the Sussexes were not available for interview. This is a probing, balanced article that has been researched with interviews from the Sussexes' admirers and detractors. And so before we go any further, again, think about it. In an alternate world, an alternate universe, where there were no LA wildfires whatsoever, and this Megxi series gets released on the 15th of January, this Vanity Fair expose then gets released a couple of days later on the 17th of January. That Vanity Fair article is totally overshadowing that series all day long. All day long. That series is dead in the water at that point completely. No one's interested in promoting the series, talking about the series at all. Everyone then in that scenario would be interested in all the salacious exposing details that Vanity Fair has been able to uncover from all the sources that they've spoken to. And when you hear from these experts from this Daily Mail article that I'm going through at the moment, it begs the question, did Megxi actually delay this new show because she couldn't stop that damning Vanity Fair expose from being released? And so pushed it back to March to give the Vanity Fair expose time to go through the cycle, and everyone will have forgotten about it at that point. She hopes. So that by the time March comes along, she's got a better chance of that series somehow being more successful. What do you guys think? Because this timing is fishy as hell. I'm telling you that right now. He says, look, it also makes the case that they're now way out of their depth in showbiz. Also, they're far from being admired by their neighbours in Montecito. They left Britain to escape press scrutiny. Yet in the US, they want favourable press. The article concludes there's precious little to them, with Harry wanting to reconnect with his family. I feel whilst he is with Meghan, this is unlikely to occur. Now, Nick Eade is a brand expert, and he's also weighed in, saying they don't seem to be able to do anything right in the eyes of the media, but now it seems in the eyes of their neighbours too. For such a well-respected publication to go all out against the couple is bound to have negative effects on their brand and status, and all eyes will be on them to see what happens next. Their brand keeps on getting battered, and it feels that the tide is turning on them in the US, and it's going to be hard for them to establish themselves properly as part of the Hollywood elite and as darlings of the nation, which they obviously wanted. And this is the thing, right, guys? This Vanity Fair expose is totally battering the hell out of Megxi and Azza, out of Team Sussex, out of brand Sussex, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? So think about it again. Think about that scenario in that alternate universe where, again, the LA wildfires never existed. Megxi releases the show as originally intended on the 15th of January. This Vanity Fair expose then gets released a couple of days later on the 17th of January. That Vanity Fair article is taking a baseball bat and whacking the hell out of that series, out of Azza and Megxi, out of the brand, out of the whole lot. Completely destroying it. Completely overshadowing that series in that alternate universe. Which Megxi wouldn't want, because ultimately this series is somehow a launch pad for her to actually start her brand off, whatever the hell she's going to call it at this point. There's a lot riding on this series with Love Meghan. The last thing that she would want, think about it, is this Vanity Fair expose to be released around about the same time, completely overshadowing it all. And so what does she do? she postpones the show from being released and pushes it back to March, turning around and saying, oh, well, you know, it's in response and in respect of the victims of the LA wildfires. Yeah, no. Look at the bigger picture, guys. Look at the timing of all of this. It is fishy as hell. And so I ask, did Megxie delay this new show because she couldn't stop that damning Vanity Fair exposé from coming out and overshadowing her Netflix show and the launch of a brand, whatever the hell she's going to be calling it? What do you guys think to that? With that being said, those watching on the live, stay exactly where you are. I ain't done with you guys yet. But for those watching on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. On your way out, wherever you're watching in the world, please make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that gold play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, guys. So, to the live chat. Firstly, Neo, thank you so much for jumping into today's gifting war, gifting one leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So, everyone say, hey, up to our newest leader, courtesy of Neo. We're now just one more away from 15 new leaders for today's stream. So, who else is going to pick up that sword and shield and be like, this is how you do a gifting war, guys? We may soon find out. We may soon find out. I'll be finishing this live stream in a couple of minutes. So, there's still time. There's still time. Sarai, thank you so much for the $2 sugar bucks. Ruining a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. Appreciate you, love. Saying I had a few sugar bucks sent my way, so I had to join. Oh, well, thank you so much. Really appreciate your face. Thank you. And oh my goodness, Chris Mills. Wow. Firstly, okay, hearts in the chat right now for Chris Mills, because this is their first ever super chat on a live stream. So, Chris, thank you so much for choosing us, choosing this community, choosing this live stream to actually send your first ever super chat. It's mind-blowing that you're even choosing this channel to do that on. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, and it means a lot to me when you guys send your first ever super chat ever to this channel. It does not go unnoticed. So, Chris, thank you so much. And thank you so much. Very generous as well for your first ever super chat. £10. Wow. Thank you so much, Chris. Saying, great analysis, Steph. Why, thank you. I appreciate it. I like to do a little bit of research and show you what I found, and then you guys obviously can then decide on what you lot think. But yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Chris, thank you so much for that. Lemon Trifle, I definitely agree. The Harkles are definitely done. They're done. Totally done. Aussie Ann 2025 says she planned this from day one of capturing Hazard. A lot of people think that. I think, let's put it this way, okay? For people that are saying that Megxie planned the divorce book, everything from day one of capturing Hazard, respectfully, you guys, giving her too much credit. Remember, okay? Remember what that source said? An alleged victim of Megxie. She's playing checkers, not chess. All right? I think when Megxie met Hazard and got into the royal family, I think that she had a plan, that she thought it was going to turn out one way, but it's turned out something completely different. She had a plan, of course, but it didn't come to fruition. It didn't happen. She did not plan this from day one of capturing Hazard. She's had to pivot as it's all been happening. She did have a plan. It didn't pan out for her. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, if you guys are thinking that she planned all of this from day one of capturing Hazard, from what we've seen up to present, again, you're giving her, for me, way too much credit. And again, listen to one of the alleged victims. She's playing checkers. She ain't playing chess. Don't give her that much credit, guys. Really, really don't. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Esmeralda T says, it is sneaky, but is she that smart? When it comes to the optics of the situation, right? Yeah. Yeah. She wants to ultimately make sure that she's giving this show and the launch of this brand, whatever the hell she's going to call it, the best possible chance. Because it's her last chance. She may only be playing checkers, but she's got to know this thing is her last chance to prove to Netflix and prove to everyone that somehow she can be successful and make it big with her own projects, this, that, and the other, right? So she needs to make sure that for her, the landscape, the situation is right. Think about it. Megsy plans the show to be released on the 15th of January. She somehow finds out this Vanity Fair exposé is going to be released 2 days later on the 17th of January. You think she's going to risk it and still release that series on the 15th of January? Knowing that Vanity Fair exposé is just going to be round the corner and has a really good chance of overshadowing her show and any chance of launching her brand, whatever the hell she's going to call it. No. No. Now, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, when I look at the timing of it all, it's fishy as hell. And again, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, what I believe is that she used the LA wildfires and the victims of the LA wildfires as an excuse to delay her new show. But that's not really the real reason. The real reason, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, is that she knew that this Vanity Fair expose was just around the corner. That was going to be released a couple of days after her series. She knew it would overshadow her series. Couldn't stop the Vanity Fair expose from being released in the first place. And so postponed it because of that. But used the LA wildfires as an excuse to make her look like she's nice and this, that, and the other and philanthropic, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that philanthropic, that she's making all these donations and hugging people, this, that, and the other when she's visiting these areas. Oh, and just making sure that the cameras are there and getting a good side, this, that, and the other, right? Don't underestimate a Megsy. Because even though they can't play chess, they can still play checkers. And there's still an element of skill involved, even with checkers. Right? There we go. There we go, Esmeralda T. But yeah, guys, let me just see. Wow, even more support that's been coming my way. Ms. M, thank you so much for the $2 sugar bucks. Ruining a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. And my favourite. Yay! The Virgin Doggy Fighting Arts moment. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much, Ms. M. Really, really appreciate your face. Stephen Magnus, another sugar bucks moment. Thank you so much, Stephen. $2, very, very kind of you. Sorry, £2, should I say. Very, very kind of you. Saying, did Guy pass over after eating that dog biscuit? I don't know. And let me be very clear. I think I've said this before, but I want to say it again. The reason why I didn't report on Megsy's dog passing away is because I've been in that position where I've had my pups and they've passed away, unfortunately, due to cancer, every single one of them. And I know how difficult that is. And so even though I don't feel like Megsy is completely sincere in terms of her reaction of her dog passing away, this, that, and the other, I didn't want to capitalise on that. I want to capitalize on that grief, whatever element of grief she's feeling or whatever way she's feeling about it, right? Because I've been there. I've lost a pup, and it's literally losing a member of your family. And so that's why I didn't really comment on it or anything like that. And I won't continue to. If I've let anyone down because I haven't commented on it, sorry, but not sorry. I have my principles, I have my integrity, and that's it. King Bob. Oh my goodness. Wow. One of the OGs. Dude, a leader for 30 months. Thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership, mate. Saying here's to another great month of streaming and may it be pain-free. I know. I think I'm getting over the worst of this pancreas attack that I've been having over the last week. And then this bug that came on top, it was like one thing after a freaking another. I've not been able to stop sneezing at certain points. It's just been continuous. I've just been communicating through sneezing. That's really what I've been doing. But yes, and may there be a great month of political nerds as well. Yes, more content will be coming back next week, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, guys, with that being said, that is it for today's live stream for the Daily Nerd Live Sunday edition, 19th of January 2025. Thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in live and stayed right till the end. You guys are amazing. Before you go, please do make sure you are subscribed to join our Alter Nerd tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that gold play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below on the replay, your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Next week, oh my goodness, next week is going to be jam-packed, because next week is the start of Prince Hazard's next court case against the tabloids, this time against Rupert Murdoch, the News Group newspapers. And guys, just like I was all over the Mir Group newspaper one, I'm going to be all over this News Group newspaper one as well. Best believe that is happening. So yes, make sure you definitely subscribe, because, I can only imagine the news that's going to be coming out of the court case there. And a lot of it, I think, is not going to go Hazard's way. Let's put it that way. Thank you to everyone that sent sugar books, that joined in today's gifting wars, that joined as a leader. You guys are amazing. Thank you also to everyone that just commented and kept me company in the live stream and let me know that the audio seems to be good now. So thank you so much for all your feedback. I really appreciate that. Thank you as well to everyone that thumbed up this live stream. You guys are amazing. Thumbing up a live stream helps the content creator. It just indicates to YouTube that the more likes a video gets, the more the audience likes the content that's in that video or live stream, and so promotes it further and allows the community to grow further. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for everyone that's hit that like button. Thank you also to everyone that's subscribed during this live stream. You guys are amazing. With that being said, that is it for today's Daily Nerd Live Sunday edition. Appreciate all your faces. Until the next time, you guys. Laters.